Senses after the shocking attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941 and the subsequent declaration of war, there was a heightened feeling of insecurity and anxiousness throughout the whole country. The skies were being watched like never before as a giant UFO was spotted moving through California, alerting the military and civilian watchers as well. This case became known as the Battle of Los Angeles and is one of the most important cases of ufology of all time.
And now for news of our own West Coast, we take you to Los Angeles and the report of Byron Palmer. Anti-aircraft guns went into action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific wartime this morning. The anti-aircraft guns began barking during a blackout ordered by the 4th Interceptor Command at 2:25 a.m. The unidentified object, which some sources thought might be a blimp, moved slowly down the Pacific coast from Santa Monica and disappeared south of Long Beach.
On the morning of February 25, 1942, pandemonium erupted in a hail of anti-aircraft fire. Air raid sirens sounded throughout Los Angeles County on that crazy morning of February 1942. At 3:16 a.m., the 37th Coast Artillery Brigade began firing 50 caliber machine guns and 12.8-pound anti-aircraft shells into the air at an unidentified object hovering in the sky. Over 1,400 shells would eventually be fired from a defending county that were convinced this was an invasion. Pilots of the 4th Interceptor Command were alerted. The artillery fire continued sporadically until 4:14 a.m. when the UFO suddenly vanished. The Air Force searched but found no signs of the flying object, and the all clear was sounded at 7:21 a.m. after the Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, amazingly played down the event, even suggesting it was a weather balloon. None of the shells hit the UFO. In one picture of the event it shows there was a type of defense shield where the bullets and shells simply hit with no damage being done.
Shells frequently could be seen bursting near the object, but none appeared to hit it.
This caused major damage to surrounding buildings, and people were killed as a direct result of falling debris and shrapnel, many suffering from hearing problems after the hour-long bombardment. A photo published in the Los Angeles Times on February 26, 1942 has been cited by modern-day ufologists as evidence of an extraterrestrial visitation. They assert that the photo clearly shows searchlights focused on an alien spaceship and explosions that were from anti-aircraft guns exploding to no avail. The first news of the attack led to the dispatch of pursuit planes to the area, and subsequently 3 bombers joined the attempt to destroy the raider, but without success. According to newspaper reports, eyewitnesses described the sight of the UFO like a surreal hanging magic lantern. One air raid warden describes the event. They sent fighter planes up and I watched them in groups approach it and then turn away. They were shooting at it, but it didn't seem to matter. It was like the 4th of July, but much louder. They were firing like crazy, but they couldn't touch it. This was an extremely important event, and one that should not be forgotten. Only the news of World War II kept this from becoming a major news event, and possibly the mind of Ronald Reagan when he delivered a stunning speech at the United Nations.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
What do you guys think of the Battle of Los Angeles incident? Thanks for watching, and remember, the ways at which we arrive at knowledge are hardly less wonderful than the discovery of these things themselves.